Hello, everyone. This is the flow I'm trying to showcase at this point. There is a requirement where I have to update the request count. So let me take you back to the original request. So here I have like 5 requests, and then here I have the countries. Both are 2 separate lists. And if you see that uh, every title has associated with some request count like India, USA. And how this count getting updated, it's based upon the number of requests here. Looks like the list was not refreshed. You see that India has 2 requests, China has 2, and Qatar has 1. And the same count is getting updated here. Qatar 1, China 2, India 2. Now I will showcase this how I have built a flow to update this request count based upon the separate list. Like we can count this as a list A, which is the list contains requests and the countries it belongs to, and list B contains the list of all the countries and the request count associated with the requests in the list here. Okay, now let's go to the flow and see how the flow was built. Let's examine the outputs first, okay, so that you'll get some understanding of what it's doing. Initially, this is the trigger of item getting modified, so there is nothing fancy about this. Uh, Next one, it's getting the count from the countries. It's not the count, basically it's getting the items. After that, it is getting the compose, which means I'm trying to log what values are getting in what format. You see, show the outputs. You will have the output in this format. You'll have much value. So in this case, all we are interested in is ID and the title, because those two are the values required to query the request and then update the request count. After this compose, I'm creating a JSON object. From this output, all I'm doing is trying to get a key value of a JSON object. One is ID and country. And these are the values coming from the item of ID and item of country, which we can see in the design. Let me duplicate this one so that we will see the runtime of the flow. And I'm editing the design here as a text. We see this one. All I'm doing is in the map property, I'm using ID hard-coded and then ID, which is item of ID, and country hard-coded, and this is an expression item of title. Next, I'm doing apply to each here. Initially, I'm logging the current item. Basically, the current item is for each, it like gets the current item and logs in here. And after that, what it is doing, it is trying to query the value where the title, for instance, here the country, which is a lookup, equals to the current item product here. Okay, the current item. And if you see how the logic was being written, you see the country. All I'm doing is, since we are for each JSON object, I am getting the value of country, and inside that I'm writing an OData query here, and it says custom value, but we can only see after we select that. Basically, it gives country slash title. Why would I give in country slash title even though the column value equals to country? Reason being, the country is a lookup column, which means that when you see a lookup column in SharePoint, it obviously you have to refer to the internal property, like the internal, even though the internal field name is country, you have to refer to the property of the country where it is being given. For instance, the title is the column property here, For instance, if you go to the China, click on that, and it goes to the countries of China. So basically the title is the where it's been referred, which means the internal, since it's a lookup column of countries, and the field property is title. So that's why for any special column or lookup column here in this case, so you have to specify in a format. I would recommend going to Rizadorani's video on how to do the OData queries on each column. I will put that in description. Please go through that. So you will get an idea how it was being done. I just don't want to reinvent the wheel here. So that's how I given this. And after that, I'm trying to get the condition where if it is true, if the query contains of the collection that was being written contains some value, I'm trying to get the compose and then updating the item. What am I updating? So I'm referring to the ID that I'm getting it from the JSON object, and then I'm updating the request count. If you see my flow here, this condition, it contains the length of the collection that is being returned from these get items is greater than 1. I'm trying to compose it, and it doesn't require because I'm just trying to log the length of it. Anyway, I'm updating it here. So here this is the tool for updating. Update the item. You have to give the specific property ID and country, and then the request count, which is the length of the collection. That's it. So I'm just saving this flow, taking the export of it. So I hope you enjoyed it and learned something new. Just show your likes and comments and feedback through the comment section. Thank you so much.